Well, that didn't go as smoothly as planned, but
We are
here. And we are live. Hopefully you are seeing this in the best quality that we can afford. And yes, we have tea. Today's choice goes quite hand in hand very well with... Don't know if you can... No, you can't.
Pull it back a bit,
okay.
pull it back a bit.
That's fine.
Hit the
There
light.
you go. No, the light's awful, but not to worry. This is the Rogue from Beastly Beverages. And the tea itself goes very well hand in hand with the voice actor that we are going to be having a discussion about today. And this tea is Assam and Nilgiri black tea with Tuscany rosebuds and petals.
Have you had it before?
I've not had this one before.
No, I haven't actually. This will be an interesting new experience for me.
I believe Jude, however, because this packet was open, I believe Jude has. My partner. Wonderful lady. And as you know, you should always pour their tea first. And I forgot to strain it. So there are bits of rose petals in your tea.
I'm sure you can get them. It's a nice first start to the to the stream.
I'm not going to do that because I'm going to end up spilling it all over
Yes,
the
you
place. It'll be fine. Absolutely fine. Let's do your cup.
Thank you. But yes, the subject for tonight's stream is, of course, our favourite rogue and wizard, man who puts knife throws to shame and gives us all PTSD-filled fire nightmares. Which, of course, we're talking about Liam O'Brien.
Yes. Absolutely wonderful voice actor, I'm not going to deny.
Absolutely not.
And there you go, sir.
Thank you, my good sir.
Milk?
Yes, please.
More?
A little bit more than that. I like mine quite milky, frankly. Thank you.
I know you're just a splash. That should do you. And I'll leave you the teaspoon to fish out the petals. And then myself ran out of water in the teapot. More milk? No? Oh, I'm good. Take it. It's fine. No, I've got tea. I have no idea what that's about.
Oh, nice. Interesting flavour.
That's actually really, really nice. She's complaining about bits in her tea.
To be fair, nobody really wants bits in their tea. It's much like orange juice. A lot of people don't like bits in their orange juice.
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, some people do. So.
That's very, very true.
More often or not, you would not want them in your tea. No.
Well, I've removed the bits from the tea, and there's a cup of tea there for you now. Might be sweet. I'm still left with a quarter of a cup of tea.
It's better than nothing.
Ching ching. So, welcome to our critical tea discussions with...
This episode that we get to talk about the cast.
Yes, episode 1. Liam O'Brien.
He's quite a striking figure of a man, isn't he?
He's also... Yeah.
Where were you going with that?
I was just thinking about some of the roles he tends to play. The sort of crazy crazy, or not crazy, but evil genius roles that he tends to go with. That he tends to enjoy.
A lot of tortured soul types. Like even from, I remember a lot from, like when I first started sort of watching the show, I also sort of look back and you look back at his filmography, which you do, but I think a lot of the cast stuff you're like, where have I heard them before? One of the first things that I'd seen from Liam O'Brien was the fact that he plays Gaara in Naruto, quite famously.
Yeah.
A very tortured soul character. But another character I really like is that he played the voice of Nightcrawler in Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yes.
I think 2008, 2009?
Yep. Give or take.
But playing Nightcrawler especially, who's always sort of seen as very quiet and very tragic character, the way he looks as well, which is very demon-esque.
Mm-hmm. Very dark, very foreboding in certain respects. Nightcrawler was the one that could teleport.
Yes.
Yes. Like
Specifically, his
mutant,
specific mutant powers, his ability for teleportation. However, it also came with the side effect that he had dark blue skin, had pale eyes, a tail, and so it gave him a very demonic look.
Yes.
Kind of fitting for Critical Role. It's a shame he hasn't played the Tiefling yet, to be fair.
It's true. I remember, going way back now, but Transformers, Robots in Disguise. I watched that as a kid. Watched that all through as a kid. Now I don't know if it was the more recent stuff that he did. I'd have to check on IMDb, but or whether it was the older stuff. But I remember that quite well, and I know he did have a part in that. I just can't remember what. But yeah, he's had a lot of voiceover roles in a lot of cartoons that we all enjoyed when we were younger.
Very strong with sort of the usual sort of things, so video games, anime, cartoons, but he has an extensive filmography.
Oh, filmography.
Filmography, thank you.
Yeah. It's
filmography.
It's alright, you haven't finished your tea yet.
No, I haven't finished my tea, and
if you do finish your tea and you start saying words like that,
maybe you've had the wrong tea.
Maybe, but this is the rogue that we're talking about, and in general,
I may need to take this with me for Thursday when I play my rogue.
You'll be fighting the missus over that one.
Fair enough. One does not simply fight the missus.
He's done a lot of voiceovers in games, as we've mentioned. So
and as well as directing as well. He's done a lot of stuff in direction.
Yes.
For directing in shows.
A lot of directing and a lot of editing for voiceovers as well. One of the things that he sort of spoke about in his Between the Sheets episode was...
It's kind of how he got started into the sort of the career that he got in, sort of writing for the dubbing of animes and such, sort of seeing how lip movement sort of worked and what words they could put in there to sort of not directly translate, but to get across the same sort of meaning.
Yeah.
Which for that sort of thing is very difficult to do, since translating from some Japanese to English, but there's a lot of things that can go over.
He was very, very particular about that. Like, he loves playing with language.
Yes.
And I think it helps that I believe he said he used to know quite fluently Japanese, or he spoke Japanese a bit. Although more recently, I don't think he's been really practicing too much. Although that may be changing, he may be brushing up on it again because of his voiceover recently, doing English voiceover for Ultraman.
Yes, that's right.
Which was released on April the 1st.
Once again, however, his character seems to be slightly unhinged. I say slightly. I have yet to watch the series, to be fair, so I've not found out what the character's like.
I meant to start watching it, but I've just not had the time.
No, we never do. In fact, the fact that we're here right now is actually quite amazing.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll be here every week. Every other week at the very least. But, moving on. Liam O'Brien.
Vax'ildan, the Rogue. The first, one of the halves of Vex and Vax. Remember, He's Vax, she's Vex, and don't get them confused. Percy.
I'll be honest, I am very much like Percy in that sense. I will always get them confused.
I don't see how it's so hard.
So he was Vax,
Yes.
not Vex.
Yes, that's right. Which, of course, came about the fact that both he and his co-star Laura Bailey, they both share a birthday.
Yes.
And so when first creating this concept, which were the first game for Critical Role, which back then was just supposed to be a one-shot for Liam's birthday.
Yep.
Of which Matt sort of sat most of them down. Liam, of course, has had a bit of history with D&D, as he mentioned. A lot of his childhood he played some D&D. He also read the Dragonlance books,
Yep.
which he said was a huge influence onto his life.
Yes.
For his love of fantasy and reading, which also went on to things like Tolkien, which I think also sort of adds into his sort of love of language, because of course Tolkien himself invented the Elven language. Yeah, I'd say invented, more created it for his world and such. For all we know, he could have found it in a lost tome and was like, I'm going to use this.
He created it in, I mean, J.R.R. Tolkien sort of created and perfected the Elven language within Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and all of that. And yes, Liam is greatly influenced by all of this. Although he never actually discovered Tolkien until after he had discovered Dragonlance, as you said. And when I was younger, I remember reading through Dragonlance as well.
I've only recently read the book, the first book, and one character that apparently he particularly latched onto, and he mentioned this in Behind the Sheets, was the character of Raistlin, the wizard and the mage, with his silvery white hair, his tan, a very sort of bronzed skin. And his eyes, which apparently had sort of where the irises would be like hourglasses, which apparently meant a symbol of power as a mage, which he had to go through.
Raistlin was awesome. He was very much a calculated character within Dragonlance,
as well as very morally ambiguous, which kind of made him stand up from the rest. The rest were very much, we do this for the good of the land and this, and Raistlin was more, no, I'm doing this for my own personal reasons. I'm still trying to gain power.
And Raistlin was very honest with himself about that as well. And you can see a lot of this coming through with Liam's characters in Critical Role now, both first and second campaigns. Vax, for example, he was very thoughtful, very careful, almost reserved character.
He was a very reserved character, especially when it came to moments of emotional anguish.
Yeah.
Things like when Thordax sort of sacked Aemon and destroyed their keep. He was very reserved about it. He didn't make out. They didn't make. It was a very somber moment, but he broods well, as I'd like to say.
Yes, I would say so as well.
He's definitely the brooder. I think he's the main brooder of the entire. I think when it comes to his characters in game, because I can't think of any of the others. Like possibly Percy, but no, I think Liam O'Brien's got brooding down to a T.
No, Percy was more of the madman, which is quite worrying when you actually think about it. But Liam's always gone for that type of character, someone that may be, in some respects as well, slightly unhinged.
Yes.
I think a lot of Campaign 1 was about like him with the Raven Queen, his death, and the return of his life that was bestowed upon him by the Raven Queen.
Might I also point out the fact that he allowed a Fey Lord to choke him to death?
Yep. Almost.
That was interesting.
Is as though he wanted to feel something. I believe that was that just after he had died?
It was just yes, it was just after he had died and sort of had made that deal with the Raven Queen, as it is. He had just gotten killed by the encounter with the Leviathan and then got brought back.
Yeah, and then
resurrected for the first time.
And then they got entangled with the Feywild. and
No, it wasn't actually. It was after their first fight with Vecna. Because he had been... first he got disintegrated, and then that was cancelled. And then the second time he was disintegrated. And after the second time, they plane shifted and then headed back on to the Feywild, where he just appeared.
Yep.
He just sort of was there, and they were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You can't die. I think. Don't. If I'm wrong, please do correct me on that.
Yes,
just make
definitely
sure.
do.
I have not watched Campaign 1 in a while. Also, another quick thing: spoilers. Just for warnings. You're not caught up on the latest episode, are you?
I am actually.
I am not.
I won't say nothing.
Good. Otherwise.
But I will say.
Otherwise, sneak attack.
I will say, however, in the latest episode, once again, Caleb, Liam O'Brien does display that calculating sort of attribute about himself.
Yeah, especially in the past few recent episodes, Caleb, I will say, has very much been stepping up to the plate.
Massive spoiler warnings.
Massive spoiler warnings. In the moment of like, oh shit, what can we do? He figured that the best idea was to actually show the object that they had been searching for to try and gain the favour, which I think he had been holding in his back pocket just in case reasons.
And it worked.
Yeah.
And it also turned out to be the last thing that DM expected.
Yes.
Which was absolutely amazing to watch. They cut the show at that point because Matt Mercer himself, was flabbergasted
I think all of us were at that point. The fact that he was so brazen. Just like, hey, we got this. It's just like, what?
My jaw hit the floor.
Yeah.
My jaw just hit the floor. And I was like...
But it does show that Liam enjoys his flair for the dramatic and his ability to plan ahead. Because I'm pretty sure that thought had come to his mind. He thought, okay, that's into the back pocket, and he knew that would have some effect.
Yes.
Because why would they? Because obviously, looking back, why would they have gone after this item if it wasn't important? And it clearly had some importance.
Yep.
But clearly, Caleb is always thinking as best he can to sort of see situations where it is in. And I think this comes into Liam O'Brien as a player in general. He's very much a thinker when it comes to his sort of characters in how they play, especially in things like combat, where, like Dan, being the rogue, the main thing is to sneak, hide, sort of look for the right opportunity to take your blade and stab it where it's most effective. And for that takes a lot of thought, a lot of planning, and a very much sort of thinking ahead.
Yep.
Caleb, on the other hand, being a wizard and the ability of spells and having a spell book and the ability to prepare your spells, you can see, or you can get an idea of what situation you may be in and what spells might be useful for that. Like I'm sure is one of your favourites, the encounter with Avantika aboard her ship when things are looking hairy, immediately goes into his bag, grabs a thing and
squelch.
Squelch indeed. Create that wall of fire, which he had obviously had that prepared for just in case reasons.
That then triggered the rest of the battle between them, got them kind of in and out of a bad situation all at the same time. It was a very cool, very calm, very calculated move that he made.
And that seems to be the way that Caleb works is when it comes to those sort of situations.
And the same when he played the rogue as well. In season 1. He was very much wait for the opportune moment and then strike.
Yeah.
Analyse the situation, think about it, and on many occasions he overthought about situations as well, which got him into quite a bit of trouble.
Yeah, to mention the encounter with Cyrus and the name escapes me. The Briarwoods.
Yes.
When they first encountered them in the palace in Imon, of course, just not sure he wanted a vampire right behind him saying how delicious he looked. But nonetheless. And also his encounter later with the Briarwoods at the mansion in Whitestone, where he teleports outside of the trap to try and activate the pressure plate. So he's always thinking and always trying to find ways of getting out of situations. As well as getting into them. He's
definitely a character to behold.
Mm.
In terms of his sort of method of playing and that, when he gets into the character, when he becomes these characters, though, he has the mindset of he is that character.
Yes.
And it's one of the things that I find about Liam O'Brien is quite engaging. Like, allows me to engage with him, or his characters, I should say.
Yeah.
On a whole new level. And most of the rest of them really get into their characters as well, but Liam O'Brien does it so effectively because of the types of characters he plays, the darker sort of side of humanity that most of us probably have, but don't want to accept.
Well, I think he parts of putting a part of yourself into the character, or taking parts of yourself and putting them as part of the character. For example, Vax'ildan being the rogue, he would often go off and do a lot of his own thing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that stemmed to, like, he had mentioned that a lot of times he was left alone at home while his parents were working and such, and he just did his homework, did things at his own pace, did reading and such. So he was very much comfortable being alone and being able to do his own thing, and put that into Vax'ildan, who had that sort of mentality. Where with Caleb, his love of books, his love of reading, has come in clear.
Yep.
And of course, that's another thing which Liam O'Brien has a great love for, and puts that into his character because he knows how that feels and will be able to emulate that properly.
Yep, but there are also other aspects of his character that he may not have actually felt at all, but he's going through those motions probably because he wants to be able to experience it, or reconcile something within him that maybe he has gone through but he's never actually told anyone about, and he puts it into his characters, plays through it to try and reconcile it within himself. But I mean, to us, the critters that are watching, it's
a fascinating thing to behold.
Yeah, because probably say, as I said earlier, he plays aspects of the character that you find in ourselves that we don't necessarily want to accept. And that I might not can become very twisted, can cause various issues within ourselves, such as anxiety. If we take a look at Caleb, one of the things that his character suffers with is anxiety, social anxiety, I would say.
I would definitely say social anxiety in that case,
and it's something that I myself can relate to, because I have social anxiety when I go out. If I find I'm in a large crowd, I will want to find the edge of that crowd, stand outside of it, catch my breath before I go back in, say, at a marketplace. I will have those sorts of thoughts and feelings and that sort of social anxiety as well. It's awkward for people to discuss, and Caleb's character, Liam O'Brien's character, Caleb, and to a degree Vax'ildan with other aspects and other anxieties or depressions or
PTSD and such.
He's portrayed these things through his character as well, and put out quite a positive message with it. And that aspect of his character, the darker side, shall we say, is what he can relay and present very, very well. Something that most of us don't really want to accept or admit that we suffer with ourselves.
Which also allows us to analyse ourselves and sort of accept those aspects.
So I've just got to put my password in because
we're
my
currently experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Decided to lock.
No, there's not a computer screen there at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
And they can see it. Oh no, they can't.
Shh! Do not give away the illusion.
Well, we've got...
You were saying?
I kind of rambled on a bit because our teleprompter went out.
Teleprompter? What teleprompter? I have no idea what to talk about. Hello, Pixel.
We have a cat.
Well, technically you have two. I think she's annoyed the fact that she didn't kill you earlier.
Yeah, she tripped me over earlier. Anyway, moving on. I mean, when we look at that side of his characters, we can relate that in other films and animes, etc. that he's done. So, Gollum.
Oh yes.
From Lord of the Rings.
Which is one of the ones that he specifically talked about in, again, between the sheets. But it's one that he relates to the fact that Gollum, despite everything that Gollum had done to that point, you know, the murder of one of his best friends just for the ring, the corruption of the power behind it, he still tried to be good. And even though he failed at it, he still tried, and that's the thing. There is still a chance for redemption in such things.
So I should correct that. Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor.
Yes.
He voiced Gollum.
Shadow of Mordor and also what was it? Shadow of Mordor and the second game, Shadow of War, I believe. I may be wrong.
Something along those lines.
Something along those lines. Played the game.
Good game.
Yeah, excellent game. Of which he does an incredibly good impression of Gollum.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, something I'm not going to attempt. He might.
That's precious.
Yeah, I just find that creepy. He did it so well though. Also, he's voiced in other things such as is it Call of Duty Black Ops?
I believe.
I believe he did a voice in.
He's done multiple things he's done a lot of Marvel things.
Yeah.
For example, he's played Doctor Strange.
Yes, in the animated series.
Yes, a very interesting and slightly tortured past character, but also.
Mm-hmm.
What else has he been in? He's also been in.
He's been in so many. Look at his IMDb, and you'll be surprised at the list. Game-wise, one of my favourites was Devil May Cry 4.
Oh, okay.
Liam O'Brien was one of the main voices in that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let the audience guess as to which one. I do know. I'm not gonna lie about that. I do know which one.
What is it? Tell us. Tell us.
They're not guessing.
That's fair.
But he's done so many good parts, and once again in Devil May Cry 4, it was kind of a tortured soul, shall we say?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that was quite recent. I think it was 2, 3, maybe.
Roughly around that time, yeah. If I remember correctly.
Dead or Alive.
I've not played Dead or Alive myself.
No,
it's a fighting game, isn't it?
I believe so.
That's why
I've
I
been meaning
play it.
I
should never play fighting games ever. No Mortal Kombat, no Tekken, nothing like that. Otherwise, noses get hurt.
But yeah, I believe he played Dante. No, it was Sanctus, not Dante. Dante, I can't remember who that one was. But yeah, no, Sanctus was once again that kind of tortured soul within the game.
Nope. It's like, is he dead yet?
Pixie failed to kill me earlier when she tripped me over in the kitchen.
That's precious. We shall get him next time, yes.
There she is.
There. Now we're guaranteed views.
Maybe. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it from me on Liam O'Brien. He's a wonderful voice actor, and I think the only thing we can really add is when we met him.
Indeed, we both had
Comic-Con,
the absolute
pleasure
to actually meet Liam O'Brien. I got to do it dressed as cosplaying as Caleb as well, which is even better.
Yes, that was a
on my
wonderful
birthday
cosplay.
as well. Thank you. Who's your good kitty? Here we are. I have my Frumpkin as well. I should take next time I go. I shall go to Caleb, and I have my familiar. There we are. But yeah. So, what was your experience with Liam O'Brien at Comic Con? Of course, first time then coming down to the UK for Comic Con, absolutely broke the con itself with how many of us there were.
Completely.
Just an incredible experience just seeing all these people there, not just from the UK but also from other countries as well, Germany, the Netherlands, entirely like Europe, and I'm sure other countries as well.
There was a couple that came down from Canada.
There you go.
Just to see Critical Role here in the UK at Comic Con. But when I met Liam O'Brien at Comic Con in the autograph queue, I was really quite nervous. I didn't know what to make of him initially, and I didn't fanboy or fangirl or whatever you want to call it, but I was very much hi, could you sign this please? With the Taldori campaign book. But he was a very relaxed, very jovial, very sort of upbeat and friendly.
I imagine at this point he's actually, I wouldn't say quite used to, but he's gotten to an experience to the point of...
thankfully.
Yeah. I'm hoping we left a very good impression for them to come back.
I'm sure we did. I mean, they stayed behind at the end of Comic-Con to make sure everyone got their signatures.
On the last day, I was still in queue to get Talison's, and the last two queues that were left was Talison and Liam's.
Yeah.
Because they specifically stayed behind. They'd done the same thing the day before, but literally, Con was closing down, and they were like, okay, it's time for you all to get out, go. And they were like, no, we're staying until everybody gets their autograph. And that just shows how that these people actually, they genuinely care about the community, and they want to make sure that everybody gets their due.
Indeed. And
very thankful.
But yeah, they were brilliant. When, talking to
queuing up for Liam O'Brien. We're British, so we're quite used to queues, but I was fangirling all over the place. You know, these people are literally heroes to me, and to actually be able to meet them. And what's more, with Liam O'Brien, of course, I was dressed as Caleb. I was dressed as his character. It's like, I really hope he likes my costume. I was like the voice was usually voices like here or something like that. Voices are all the way up here every time I meet, just like, hi, that kind of thing. It was an interesting 24th birthday for me.
My voice when I'm meeting someone, I don't know why, but my voice tends to, it'll either go, hi, or it'll go very low and be like, hi, could you please, thanks, bye. Gone.
Yeah, with Liam, with me, it was just so nice. And of course, complimenting my thing, wishing me happy birthday, signing my book, and sort of talking to us. Thank you for coming down here. Glad to have you here at last. And they said, "Yeah, that's cool." And we're going to be trying to come down here more often, which I'm hoping that they do. Hopefully, maybe next October, and perhaps I'll get a Matt Mercer autograph ticket this time. We'll see.
Hopefully,
but I will definitely be wanting to meet them all again.
Oh, without a doubt. The three that I need is Ashley Johnson, Travis, and Laura Bailey.
Yes, I hope that the rest of the cast are able to come down, as well as whoever came down before, so that we can all do it again. Screen on there is a little bit funny.
I think the stream camera's broken.
Oh, hold on, we're experiencing some technical difficulties. It seems that we have one stuck. Darren Cat's still here.
I believe.
Darren Cat's still here.
Darren
Cat's still here. Oh god, there's an echo.
Yep. Our camera decided
to die on us
completely, and we don't know when that happened. However, there was audio. There still is audio. So what we're going to do is say thank you for listening. We apologise about the video cutting out.
Hopefully we should be able to improve on that in the future and the quality of the videos.
Yep. And we will see you next time. In the meantime, we will leave you